Every garden needs a lemon tree. And of course, they say if you're given lemons in life, what do you make? Well, you can drink tequilas or make mere lemonade. I think we should stick with the lemonade part. So, based on these important facts of life, we're going to show you how to plant a lemon tree, how to get it right, what lemon trees to choose, how to look after them, and most importantly, how are you going to deal with those little curveballs that are sent your way. First up, we need to choose the right site. Probably the biggest mistake that is made all around South Africa, wherever I go, is the spot that is chosen for the said lemon tree. A citrus tree, and that goes for any citrus, especially lemons, need at least 5 hours sun a day. If they are not going to get that, don't even bother, because you're going to end up with a poor performing plant. It's going to be looking for the light all the time, getting thin and scraggly, and really not being able to produce fruit. Remember, in order to have fruit, you need flowers. And in order to get flowers, you need loads of sunlight. So I've got the perfect spot here in the middle of the veggie garden, which is under construction. We've got a little rosemary hedge around, which is just forming the outer line of it. And this is my spot right in the middle, and this is where the good dig work comes in. It's where we need to dig a really big hole to make sure that this lemon tree is going to get everything that it needs to get going. The hole that we're going to dig over here is going to be at least 1/2 meter by 1/2 meter wide and depth. So, yeah, it's going to take me a little while. I'll see you just now. Okay, guys, so 1/2 meter by 1/2 meter. There you go, up to my knees, and as wide as 2 spade lengths. That's what we want. Now we've got this big hole. And how on earth, you might be thinking, are we going to put that plant in this big hole over here? Well, it's all about the preparation. Now we've got this pile of soil out here of what we removed. And because this is a really nice, good loamy soil, you can see by the texture when I do that, look, it forms a nice clod, which is what we want. So first up, I'm going to empty 1/2 bag of compost onto the soil that we removed. Right, perfect. And then I'm just going to mix this all in. Right, I'm happy with this. Now what we're going to do is just fill up the hole to enough depth that our lemon tree will be able to sit comfortably in it. There is no direct science of how you have to make sure that your height is there. You literally just have to have a look at the bag. Now this is what we call a 15-litre bag. It's nice and big. You can see the height is just over a spade's length. So the way that we can do this, take a look at that height, put that in, perfect. So next step, put a few good handfuls of bone meal at the bottom of the hole. Remember, bone meal is going to encourage good, strong roots. What I'm going to do is actually take the lemon tree and put it in the hole. All right? Take a pair of scissors, just cut down the side, and I'm just going to slide that down the edges of the bag. Open up the one side, and then simply just open up the other side. Once I've got that, I can then cut off one little sleeve off the edge. And with that in place, all I do now is just tilt it and pull the bag out from underneath. And there I have my lemon tree in place. So we've got all that extra mix that we've had. All we do now is just take it and simply backfill in and around the lemon tree. Once you've filled up the hole, just firm it down with your hands, and that'll make sure that all the soil is comfortably snug around the lemon tree. What is important, folks, is that here is the original level of the bag. You'll notice we haven't planted it any deeper. We haven't gone further up the stem. We haven't even lifted it further out the ground, because it's really important that you do this exercise, because if you have to bury it too deep, you literally are going to cause collar rot around the lemon, and it's just not going to be a happy camper. Now you'll see what I'm doing around here is making a little well with the soil, just moving it around so that we've literally got almost a little moat going all the way around the plant. Why do we do this? Well, it really does help in terms of watering, especially in the initial years while it's growing, so that as you water, the water's trapped here, it just simply doesn't run off. Now, before we end off and before I give it its final watering, I want to stake this lemon tree to make sure that it's going to grow straight up, be gorgeous and healthy in the right direction. Right, last up is my stake. And it's really important to get the stake into the ground whilst your tree is still young. You can use either metal stakes for this. I've got a plastic one here with a hollow casing inside, and then it's got a bit of metal around it. Really light, easy to use. Just grab a hammer, bang it in as far as you can go. And it doesn't look the pleasantest. However, it always is great, especially with young trees, to leave a bit of the stake sticking out, because as it grows, so you've got more space then to attach the stem to it. And then right down here, let's get rid of that over there. This is where we then attach the twine that's going to make sure that everything stays where it should be. You can grab these little guys from your local garden centre. You could also use some stocking if you should so wish, because it does the job as well. Now please note this. Take a look at this, guys. This is really important. If I had to just take the stake and tie it like this, what's going to happen if any part of the stem is actually touching the stake and rubbing? What happens is it actually scars the stem, and then you end up with this awful scar on the stem of the plant. Plus what happens is that is a source for infection. So it is better to do it in the following method. You take anything that you're using, whether it's twine or this plastic, and you make a figure of 8. So there it goes. There's the figure of 8. Here's the other figure of 8. And then you pop this guy in here. Feed it through. I could go one more notch even. And there we go. So here is the figure of 8. Can you see it there? Just like that, which means that the stem will never ever rub against the stake. Now that I'm comfortable that my little twine is included here, it's nice and secure, and I know that I've still got length at the top here for as the lemon tree grows, so too I can add another one and enough space and stake to hold it nice and secure. And before I water it, last but not least, is to put a good mulch down. Now, I've been fortunate enough to get this mulch from the chicken hock, which is a mixture of straw, a few feathers, as you can see. You can use bark nuggets, you could use peanut shells, you could just use some good homemade compost or some compost that you get from your local garden centre. Put that around, it's going to keep all the moisture in, make sure that the weeds don't grow around it, and give it the warmth over the soil that it needs. And last but not least, a very good watering. Remember, you're going to do this at least once a week. And I mean about 5 litres of water. It's much better to do watering less often and deeper with fruit trees than little bits more often, because in that way you encourage good deep roots. Whereas if you're giving lots of little bit of water often, what happens is it gets the surface root system, which is not what we want. We want this guy to be nice and secure. There we go, folks. It's all done. All I've got to do now is wait for a couple more weeks until this little guy turns beautiful yellow like one of these. Remember, this is a Eureka lemon. The other smooth skin variety is called a Mayer lemon. Both of them are incredible producers. These are the ones, the Eureka and the Mayer lemon, are the ones that you commonly find in the shops that are as gorgeous as this. But you know what? There's quite nothing like being able to pick your own lemons. And that is going to do the job just for me.